Good morning, everyone. It's time for Chattin' with CHAP, and I am your host, Ginger Wade. I hope you guys are staying warm. It is seriously cold out there today. Our rabbits' water was frozen, and they were like, oh, give me water. So it is a good day today because we are going to talk about elementary requirements in detail. So if you remember, a while back, I talked about the high school requirements in detail, and I know you guys asked for this particular talk a while ago. I was going to speak on it in convention, but if you were there, you know that I lost my voice and I couldn't speak. Oh, it's heartbreaking. So here I am. I'm doing it now in this podcast today, but before we jump into that very exciting content, I want to give you guys some save the date reminders. Boy, howdy. We've got some fun stuff coming up this coming year in 2026, which is CHAP's 40th anniversary year. We're very excited about that. The first thing that will be coming up, as of now anyway, other things might be popping onto the schedule, is our hometown tour, which is going to be running March 9th through the 13th in various cities across the state. The next thing will be Capital Day, otherwise known as Capital Day, but Capital Day sounds so much more fun. That is April 21st this year. And then Convention, which is June 11th through 13th. So get out your 2026 calendar, mark those things down on your calendar, and make sure you're saving your pennies for Convention so that you can come and get fueled and filled up, rejuvenated and encouraged, and all these other events that are going to be happening to enhance your homeschool journeys. So more information will be coming out on those things in the future. So make sure you're on our e-news, chaponline.com. The contact menu, you can subscribe to our e-news, which you really need to be a part of to know what is going on. All right, guys, let's jump into it. We've got the elementary requirements in detail. So before I get to that little paragraph in the law that says all the things that gets everybody all excited, I'm just going to touch on a few things that we need to do to become homeschoolers so that if you're around and people are wondering, here, you can just tell them these are the things they need to do. This is a super stripped down basics, okay? So the first thing you do is to file an affidavit or an unsworn declaration and your objectives to your local school district office. All this information is on homeschoolpennsylvania.org. All of the forms, all the things. Then, as you're homeschooling your children, you build a portfolio, gather some samples, and then at the end of the year, you meet with an evaluator. And then if you have children in grades 3, 5, and 8, you do some testing. So I'm not going to go into detail about those specific items, but there are a number of podcasts where we talk about it. So if you go to the YouTube channel and go to the playlist section and look up the homeschool law, you'll find every single detail in the law explained very well. We also have a video with Will that came out in September. Will Estrada, who is our HSLDA lawyer, talking about some overreach items and stuff like that. You're definitely going to watch that and be aware of overreach items. Make sure you interview your evaluators. So your evaluator's on the same page as you. You're on the same page as the evaluator, and you work well together. Again, those are all in other podcasts. You can get more details on those things if you go to the YouTube channel, specifically the Homeschool Law playlist, but there's lots of other podcasts on there that talk about these things too. Okay, so let's jump into the requirements because I know you guys always have lots of questions about this. I'm going to read it straight out of the law. It's under, let me see if I can say what section it is. If you pull up the law on homeschoolpennsylvania.org and you scroll down, there's just a few paragraphs. You see the notarized affidavit paragraph and then a few paragraphs underneath that. It says, at the elementary school level. What is the elementary school level, by the way? So elementary school, according to the law, is considered 1st through 6th grades because at this point in time, kindergarten is not compulsory meaning you have to do it, in the state of Pennsylvania. So kindergarten is kind of like, was intended to be like the preschool, but now we have preschool, which is the preschool to the preschool. It's crazy. Just let your kids play. So grades 1 through 6 is the elementary school level, technically. Okay, so at the elementary school level, the following courses shall be taught: English, to include spelling, reading, and writing, arithmetic, science, geography, history of the United States and Pennsylvania, civics, safety education, including regular and continuous instruction on the dangers and prevention of fires, health and physiology, physical education, music, and art. So there is the list. And I know many times people have come up to me and said, oh my word, that is so much to do. I'm going to die. So we're going to jump into this and break that down a little bit more. Some other thoughts about elementary being grades 1 through 6. So that can be tricky for homeschoolers too, because we actually don't have to do grades. So if you read your affidavit, your unsworn declaration, it asks for the age of your children. It doesn't ask for the grade of your children. Now, when you file that paperwork, usually what happens is the district will take that information and say, oh, your child is standing there in 5th grade. They will automatically assign a grade based on their age, but we actually do not need to go by grades. That's just something they do so they can keep track of kids and keep moving them through their system. So again, I did podcasts on grades, both types of grades, the age-related ones and the how good of a work you did related ones. So look up that podcast. It's really good too. So anyway, we don't necessarily have a specific grade assigned to us, which is pretty slick. So all of these requirements I just read in this little paragraph are things you need to cover over grades 1 through 6. Does it say you need to cover all of these every single year? No, it says at the elementary school level. It doesn't say every single year in the elementary school levels. It says at the elementary school level. So what that means is at some time over the course of 1st through 6th grade, you should be covering these things. Now, wisdom says we should be doing things like spelling, reading, writing, arithmetic pretty much continually, right? Because there's much to learn there. There's much growth to be done. So just covering it for 3 weeks sometime in the course of 1st through 6th grade is not going to work. We need to train children so they are solid readers, so they are solid communicators, which includes writing, arithmetic, so they can balance their checkbook. I know a lot of people don't use checkbooks, but you really should know how to do that stuff so people can't swindle you, right? Okay, so agreed that those are types of things that we should really be doing all the time. But when we get into geography, science, history of the United States and Pennsylvania, civics, those things do not need to happen every single year. Science does not need to happen every single year. Did you know that? Did you know that you could just do a few fun experiments and talk about what was happening? That makes us think, doesn't it? There are a lot of great science curriculums. I'm not saying there's not, but this does not say you have to do a full curriculum every year. That's something to think about. Okay, regular and continuous instruction on the danger and prevention of fires. Well, regular and continuous, I mean, we have a wood stove. My kids are constantly being taught about fire there because we live with a stove. So regular and continuous doesn't even necessarily mean yearly either. It definitely means as life issues come up, you should be talking about things. But it's, again, wise to be training your children about dangerous things, things that could be harmful to them, right? So these are things that we would be doing anyway, right? So don't even feel burdened about that particular thing because mamas, dads, you would be teaching your kids those things anyway. It just happens to be in there. I don't know why. Maybe there's some foolish parents, I guess. But health and physiology. Okay, here I am. I'm live all of a sudden. I'm trying to move because my Wi-Fi is being really fussy. So I was taking physical education, anatomy, physiology, those types of things. Anatomy, physiology, civics, that kind of stuff, art, music, you don't have to do every year. Now, physical education, again, to be healthy, you're going to want to have physical education, right? I mean, come on. You want your kids to be healthy. So this is the type of stuff that we want to be doing on a regular basis. So those types of things, sure. Okay, you might be not doing them every single year, right? So let's keep moving forward. So it's up to you to decide how things are met and when they are met. Are you going to do them every single year? Are you going to do them for a little bit in the fall, for a little bit in the spring? Are you going to put them in a class to do some of those things? It's totally up to you. It's for you to decide how these requirements are going to be met, how often you want to teach them. If you're a science family, do the full science curriculum every single year. I actually did full science curriculums every year, but I found a curriculum that was biblically based, and it just made science so much more amazing for me. So I really wanted to do that for my kids. So we can understand creation and just the wonder. Oh my gosh, right now we're studying the human body. Oh my word. How can you ever think that this body evolved from something? It's just not possible. So anyway, I digress. So you can cover all these over the grades 1 through 6, and it's up to you to decide how to do it. Now, note on the evaluator. The evaluator is checking for compliance, that you are meeting these things, and progress, that your child is getting better at things. They're not checking for grade level. They're not checking for have you done enough, or they're not checking to make sure that you've done something at a particular level of something. I just, the evaluator doesn't have that type of power. That is for you to decide what you are going to do with your child. So they're just checking for progress. Keep in mind that subjects overlap. Like, you can be teaching literature or reading and also doing history at the same time. You can be doing math. Like, unit studies are great for this kind of thing. Math problems about, pirates loading their stuff onto their ship. I don't know. But there's all kinds of amazing ways that you can make your subjects bleed over into one another. So keep that in mind. And these are general guidance, not a specific timeline. It doesn't say in first grade do this, in second grade do this, in third grade do this. Now, the public school does have a method for how they do things, and when they do this and when they do that, that is what they choose to do, but you do not need to follow that. That is not something that you need to do. You can do things when you want to do things. Like for math, you just move on to the next thing and just go whenever your child is ready. You don't have to be doing fractions in 4th grade and decimals in 5th grade and pre-algebra in 6th grade. No, you just go when your child is ready. You do things as your child is ready to do them. You do not need to follow a particular time frame. You can't do it wrong. We're going to do civics this year, and then we're going to do world history, and then we're going to do Pennsylvania history. Oh no, that's out of order. No, there is no such thing. There is no order. You just learn it as you go along. Next year is going to be a fabulous year for doing American history. Pennsylvania history is closely knit into early American history. It's a wonderful time because it's our 250th anniversary birthday of the United States. Wonderful time to be doing American history. You might want to be thinking about that for next year. So you cannot do it wrong. So like I said earlier, there's no grades, although the districts arbitrarily assign them, so don't worry what they say. Now, you do have the testing requirement, and I have a whole lot to talk about in that if you go check out my testing videos on the Homeschool Law playlist. In short, you choose which test and when your child needs to do it. I do have one that I consider roughly 5th grade, so he'll be testing this year, and an 8th grader, actually. So that is according to your discretion, how you want to handle the testing requirement there. But go check out the video on that because we very thoroughly talk about it. So just some things before I wrap up. Since I am sitting outside, you can probably see my breath. It's really cold. Knowledge is an ocean. It's an ocean. It's not a grade assigned pool. So in public school, education is a grade assigned pool. In 4th grade, you do this. In 5th grade, you do this. In 6th grade, you do this. That is not what we're doing. We're in an ocean. There's an ocean of information to learn. There's so many things to learn. And every family is going to have a different focus for what they want their children to know. You might really want to focus on American history. You might really want to focus on a particular country because maybe your family comes from that country, or maybe your family was missionaries in that country, or maybe you have an interest in that area for some reason. But you get to focus on what you want to focus. You get to teach the values that you want to teach. So do the freedom. live the freedom out. Live the freedom out. Do not let yourself to be put in boxes. And remember that education is an ocean. I mean, and it's quite an ocean. So don't feel stressed about that either. Don't be like, oh, there's so much to learn, I can't possibly do it all. Don't do it all. You can't do it all. There's no way. And you're going to have gaps. Do what it is that your kids find interesting, that you find interesting, and that fits with your values. I apologize for the trucks going by. Hopefully it's not too loud. Okay, retrain your brain in the area of education. Okay, supervisors, who's responsible? What does it look like? How do we do it? Where does it happen? When does it happen? Why are we learning? That's you, supervisors. Those questions are for you to answer, not the district, not your evaluator, not the government, not the public school, which is the government. It's you. It's you. And don't take that as a nervous thing. Take that as a wonderful freedom thing. Okay? Love the freedom. So remember also, government should not dictate your children's education. You should. Okay? So public school is government school. That's what it is. Plain and simple. And believe it or not, you may not know this, but the government in the Constitution was not given the responsibility to educate our children. Let's think on that. So, getting rid of the Department of Education is actually right on the money because the government is not supposed to be dictating what children are learning. So, take the freedom, enjoy the freedom, love the freedom, and remember that life is learning, and part of that learning is following Christ with all of life. So enjoy it with your kids. If you have any questions, please comment below. Seriously, go check out the Homeschool Law playlist on the YouTube channel. It has all the details, and there are lots of other podcasts out there that are going to help you with these questions. But make sure you make it to convention to get more information on this topic. And encouragement hometown tour, Capital Day, come and see our beautiful capital. So enjoy the rest of your Christmas season. I hope it is wonderful and glorious. And I will be back with you live at the beginning of the year in January. And I hope you enjoy the great podcasts that Rowan and I have prepared for you for the next few weeks. So we'll see you later. Have a wonderful, blessed Christmas season, celebrating the birth of our Savior together with family and